Hey you guys, welcome back to She's So Dramatic. Thanks for joining me on this journey as I explore theater art, book reviews, and lifestyle. On today's episode of Digital Storytelling, it's a little random. It's a little random, y'all, but the world is a little random right now. At least that's the way that it feels to me. But yeah, I've got a little bit of everything for you. A little bit of a grocery haul, an experiment in the kitchen, and then of course I have to share some theater, just a little bit, just a little bite of theater. But before we jump into the video, for some reason I felt the need to come on here and kind of preface today's video with a disclaimer. I felt so weird and awkward sharing my groceries and this little project that I'm working on. And I don't know why, because these are the exact type of videos that I watch on YouTube. I am always inspired by different people that I see that are sharing recipes and different meal plans, because do you ever feel like you make the same dinners over and over, like the same 5 dinners over and over again? So I enjoy getting new ideas, like I said, for meal plans and different recipes and organization tips. So yeah, I don't know why I felt weird sharing that. I think it's because I try to be very, very cautious about what I'm sharing on social media. Number one is just a lot of creepy people out here, so you have to be careful about what you share. But then the other reason is I never want to come off as showy. That's never my intent. So that's another reason that I try to be extra careful about what I'm sharing. But I hope this will be a community where we can share ideas and tips and advice and recipes and just different ways to keep our families healthy and happy in these crazy times. So I just felt the need to come on here and make sure that my heart and my intentions were clear. So anyway, enough rambling. Let's get into the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to She's So Dramatic. And I just wanted to share a really quick Sam's haul. I shared with you guys a few videos back that I had kind of fallen down this rabbit hole of prepping. And I think I'll show you my Prepper's Pantry later in this video. Look, Prepper's Pantry is really just a space that my husband has carved out for me in the basement, because I really don't have a big pantry here in the kitchen. So he put up some shelves for me in the basement. He added some shelves to the ones that were already there. And that just gave me the room that I needed to be able to stockpile some of the items that we use most frequently, just to kind of be prepared in case there's another shutdown due to the pandemic, or in case, even like with the election being next week, I wanted to be able to have enough groceries where we did not have to go out for a few weeks if we could help it, just in case anybody acts a fool after the election. You just never know. Also, you always want to be prepared for emergencies like a job loss, or someone gets sick and has to take time off work. Just whatever the reason, there's plenty of reasons to be prepared. So that's what I've been trying to focus on these last few months. So anyway, for this Sam's trip, I picked up these crispy chicken strips, a couple of bags of those, because my boys really love these. And these are really good for those nights where everybody has to fend for themselves, because we do have those around here. With my schedule, some days it just be like that. A couple of packages of deli meat, ham, and then this buffalo style chicken breast that my husband really loves. I picked up a rotisserie chicken because you can't go to Sam's and not get a rotisserie, right? So that's what's for dinner. Some turkey bacon, and these White Castle sliders that my oldest son loves. And I promise y'all, I've been home for 5 minutes. He helped me get the groceries out of the car and then promptly opened the sliders. Anyway, some Hawaiian rolls, a bag of shrimp. I really like this blackened salmon that Sam's carries. In thinking about Thanksgiving and the holidays, Sam's has already set out their hams, and so I picked up a bone-in and a boneless. I have no idea what we're going to do for the holidays this year. I've got a big family on my side of the family, a large extended family, and I don't know where everyone's head will be in terms of gathering because of this pandemic. So I just don't know if it'll be large or small this year, but I'll be prepared either way. A couple of bags of salad, actually one of the Southwest kits and then two of the Caesar kits. I have been craving stuffed bell peppers, so I picked up this package, and I think I'm going to try to experiment with a recipe, and we'll see how those turn out. I like the broccoli florets from Sam's in the steamable bags, the broccoli florets and the whole green beans. I really like those. I make garlic green beans with those. They turn out really good. And then Sam's also already has out their holiday cookies, so I usually get a tin for the house of these butter cookies. And then I picked these up just as like random gifts, like maybe coworkers or church members, or just, you know, sometimes you just need random gifts. Stick a bow on these and be good to go. These are also shortbread cookies, so I thought that would be good to have. And then also I picked up, my kids have been asking for hot chips, as well as I also needed these for, we're doing a trunk or treat down at the theater, and I am putting together goodie bags. And we were reminded today, you know, to have some nut-free options in the goodie bag. So I thought this would be cool. You know, all kids love hot chips. So between my teenagers and the kids at Trunk or Treat, that's what I got this big box for. A couple of bags of chips, and also for the Trunk or Treat at the theater, these mini cheese balls. So I'll get this stuff in the fridge and the freezer, and then I will, like I said, also show you a clip of what I'm doing in my prepper's pantry. Okay guys, see you in a minute. All right, you guys, so here's the area that I was telling you about in my basement that I've kind of had to make into a little prepper's pantry. So the shelves are empty right now because my husband had to add some additional shelves. First of all, this one on the bottom, and then this one here. And then also he had to add some additional braces because the canned goods that I had stored on these shelves was kind of making the shelves buckle. So I had to clear everything off so he could shore it up. And now I'm going to get everything organized and placed back on these shelves. So I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, you guys, I have everything back on the shelves and organized the way that I want them. Now I've still got some gaps to fill in, but I can do that little by little. But I think I have things where I want them for now. It was my goal to at least get started and have a little bit of a stockpile by election time. Honestly, if I'm being honest, election day was my target date. And so I hesitated on even sharing this because I didn't know how interesting this would be. I also didn't know, you know, how much of my life I wanted to share on YouTube. But you know what? I was inspired by another video, actually several videos that I saw on YouTube about families just being prepared and starting their prepper pantries. And so I decided that I wanted to invest my time and my energy into making sure that my family was prepared, just to give them some kind of normalcy. You know, we don't know if we'll end up being shut in again over these next few months during the winter and the holiday season, but just to be able to have the things that we like on hand, and like I said, just provide some kind of normalcy. So I was inspired by other videos, and maybe someone will be inspired by this. So I know it's dark down here, but up at the top I've got some flour, sugar, pancake mix, rice, and pastas. And these are things that we use pretty regularly. And here are the condiments that we use most regularly. And one tip that I learned on YouTube is that if you're going to have a prepper's pantry, to make it a rotating prepper's pantry, and rotate the items in and out. So when you get low on items in your kitchen, you come and you shop in your prepper's pantry first, and then you replace the items here when you go back to the store. So just to keep the items rotating in and out, so that nothing goes to waste. And also, speaking of waste, you want to only buy things that your family uses. So you don't ever want to buy things that you don't already eat, because, you know, in the event that nothing happens, and prayerfully nothing will happen, but in the event that nothing happens and you don't need it, you've just wasted those items. So I'll give you an example. On my meat shelf here, my meat shelf, I've got some tuna and salmon and chicken breast, because that's the only kind of canned meat that we eat. We don't do Vienna sausages and Spam, and not to say that we're above those things, not at all, but those aren't things that we eat regularly. So I did not include them in my prepper's pantry, because we would not have rotated them out. But you know, you can make chicken salad and really other things in a pinch if you needed to, with canned chicken breast, of course tuna, salmon, and then I've got some soups here, and my chicken stock and chicken broth and beef broth. Now I really prefer the bouillon more so than the boxes of broth, but I have both just in case. Thinking of the holidays coming up and just wanting to make sure that we can bake and have the sweet treats, I did start to stock up on some canned fruit, you know, peaches and pineapples and other things that you would bake with during the holiday season. There's just some random stuff. And then down here, again, thinking of the holidays and wanting to make sure that we have some sense of normalcy. So here are the canned veggies that we would eat normally. I do prefer fresh greens, but in a pinch, if we couldn't get out and needed to use the canned greens, those are good. So those would work. Prefer frozen green beans, but again, if we can't get out, these will do in a pinch. This is my favorite spaghetti sauce, so I have enough of a stockpile. I think of that. I use diced tomatoes in almost everything. My goodness, I use a lot of diced tomatoes, so I have a pretty good stockpile of that. I tried to take the advice of other people on YouTube when it came to the boxed items, and wanting to store your boxed items in other bins, you know, just to kind of keep critters and pests away. So like I've got a little stockpile of ramen and cornbread mix, and there's some cake mix up there, and spaghetti noodles, more cake mix, mac and cheese for the boys. In a pinch, I would use these instant potatoes, and then there's some wild rice back there as well. My mom makes a sausage rice casserole that she passed on the recipe to me, and that's one of my favorites. So I needed plenty of wild rice to make sure that we could have that. But anyway, so yeah, I feel like this is good for like I said, a 4 to 6 week stockpile of some of our favorite things, just in case we can't get out. So that is that. Like I said, I'm pretty well satisfied with where I am so far, where I want it to be by Election Day, and I will continue to fill in the gaps as the weeks go on. Hopefully we don't have another shut-in, but just in case we do, I wanted to make sure that my family was prepared. Now I do have some water, some cases of water in the garage, and then I also do have cleaning supplies. So the type of detergent that we like, and of course the infamous Clorox wipes that have been very, very sparse lately. Soap, paper towels, toilet paper in these drawers. This is just an old dresser I've got more supplies, so dusting stuff, the microfiber cloths. I really like to use those to dust with. Some toilet cleaning extras. I like those scrubbing bubbles, stickums. And what's down here? Oh, some extra vacuum filters and mop heads. Yep. And some sponges. More sponges. Oh, these are the Mr. Clean. And just some miscellaneous stuff. Some extra sample size detergents. And this is where I keep my first aid kit so that the boys aren't messing with it. The Band-Aids and stuff that they can use is upstairs in the linen closet, but I wanted to have a first aid kit intact that had not been raided, so I'm just keeping it down here. So that's where we are. Hey, y'all, remember these peppers? I said that I was craving some stuffed bell peppers and I wanted to experiment with some recipes for that. Well, look what I found in the freezer. So you know how sometimes you make spaghetti and your meat sauce to noodle ratio isn't always perfect? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I always seem to have a lot of sauce left. We like our spaghetti very, very saucy. So I tend to overdo it and I always have some left. So I usually freeze it. So I think that might work for this recipe because everything that I've Googled so far, you have to have some kind of tomato sauce in with whatever your ground meat is, whether you're using ground turkey or ground beef or whatever. So I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna defrost this and add the cheese and some onions and the rice, and we're gonna see how it turned out. So I'll keep you posted. All right, bye. All right, you guys, as we wait for those peppers to bake, I wanted to give you guys just a little taste of theater, and we're going to call this segment a theater bite. As the month of October closes, I wanted to take time to honor and lift up an ancestor who was an incredible theater and performing arts pioneer that we all know and love as Ntozake Shange. October is a special month because it is the month of her sunrise and her sunset. Born Paulette Williams on October 18, 1948 in Trenton, New Jersey, she began attending poetry readings at the age of 13, and that's what sparked an early interest for her to become a writer and a young feminist. And she was also very heavily influenced by the Black arts movement and the work of Amiri Baraka. In 1971, after a short-lived marriage, Williams was divorced and battling the onset of depression. As she overcame this dark period of her life, she changed her name to Ntozake Shange. Taken from the Zulu language, Ntozake means she who comes with her own things, and Shange means who walks like a lion. In the years to follow, she began writing and performing the poetry that would later become For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough.
Because I had convinced myself that colored girls have no right to sorrow. And I lived and loved just that way. And kept sorrow on the curb, allegedly for you, but now I know I did it for myself because I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand being sorry and colored at the same time. It's so redundant in the modern world.
We lost this embodiment of Black girl magic on October 27th, 2018. Ntozake Shange was a fierce poet, playwright, novelist, and educator who forever changed the landscape of American theater. Well, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed that little segment of Theater Bites. Ntozake Shange is one of my favorites, so that was a joy to put together and share with you. But right about now, it is the end of the night. Your girl is tired, so we're going to see what these stuffed bell peppers are working with. So guys, I hope you enjoyed enjoyed this little bit of randomness today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I pray that you guys stay safe and blessed this week. Remember to practice self-care. This has the potential to be a challenging week for some, so rest when you need to rest. Say no when you need to say no. Drink your water, mind your business, and get out and vote. Also, remember to find the beauty in everything. Take care, guys. Love and light.